Good morning, everyone. We have a game tomorrow. Believe it or not, it came around that quick. Uh, Before I get into that, we had a very good conversation yesterday. Yes, I'm beating the same dead horse about it being because it's just downright frustrating for me to say all the things I've been saying in my videos since the start of the year, or probably longer than that, to be honest, and to see two football teams running the ball very creatively and using play action to literally own the NFL. Right now, nobody is playing close to the level of San Francisco and Baltimore. So you can't tell me we're not better than Baltimore at running back and offensive line as far as talent wise. We're more talented than them at running back and offensive line. And then we have a fully capable quarterback at running the ball and using play action. That's Dak's wheelhouse right there. So we could be employing the same type things they're doing if we were using our talent correctly. Same thing as San Francisco, but even worse. We are definitely better than them at running back, offensive line, and quarterback. Period. But they're using very smooth, creative run concepts. They're killing people with play action, and they're playing really, really, really hard defense. And guess what else they're doing? The defense is not out there long, so when they get out there, they're ready to murder you. So those teams are killing the NFL. And like I said yesterday, just imagine, if you will, Jimmy G in the shotgun as much as Dak is in the shotgun. Jimmy G is trying to make things happen with his arm as much as they make Dak try to make things happen with his arm. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. Just think if they were trying to turn Lamar Jackson into the NFL's leading passer with most yards in the league, throwing him back in shotgun and say, don't run because we don't want you to get hurt, is what we think they're telling Dak, because Dak has not been running at all lately. The only time we see Dak run is on 4th and 2 versus the Jets. Sorry, I digress. But let me say, that is not the only reason we're not where we're supposed to be. I'm not saying all we got to do is run the ball and everything will be great. I'm not saying that. We have other problems. We have the failure to stop the run consistently annoys me. It literally kills me. Our special team play is probably at the bottom of the NFL. I'm not going to say worse because I ain't saw everybody play, but it's probably, at the bottom of the NFL. And then generally bad coaching, as expressed to you by, Mr. Troy Aikman and Mr. Tony Romo, two guys that probably know. So those things sprinkled on top of the fact that we don't have a creative run scheme anymore, and we pass the ball. We become a pass first offense. This does not make us a bad team. Again, like I said yesterday, wasn't doom and gloom. This is not a doom and gloom. It does not make us a bad team by any stretch of the imagination. It makes us a very inconsistent team, and an inconsistent team ends up 6-5. With a really good roster. So entering this week's game, that worries me a lot more than the Buffalo Bills do. The fact that we're inconsistent, our special teams, the inability to stop the run, the lean on the pass too much, all that kind of stuff wrapped up in one worries me a lot more than the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills have not beaten anyone of note at all. Their 8 wins have come from the Dolphins twice, the Jets, the Giants, the Redskins, the winless Bengals, Denver, and I think Titans have a winning record maybe, but the Titans are very inconsistent themselves. So that's the Titans are the only decent team that they've beaten, and they've lost to the Patriots, the Eagles, and the Browns. So it seems to me that their record shows something that their schedule doesn't. Their record shows them as a much stronger team than their schedule does. Now, I watched one game with the Bills. I watched them play the Eagles, and Philadelphia just outmanned them. They just beat them up. I mean, they played very good in the first half and made a bad coaching mistake right before the half, calling a quarterback run with Josh Allen, and he fumbled the ball. Philadelphia scored, got on top of them at the half, and then they came out running the ball in the second half and just ran down the Bills' throat. Carson Wentz only passed for 172 yards so they leaned on the run game to beat them, and they run for 218 yards mostly in the second half. So that's how Philadelphia beat them, and they were beaten pretty soundly So there's no reason that if we come in there on our P's and Q's, we shouldn't beat this football team. I hate to, oh my God, I hate to say this, but I just don't see them beating us at home on Thanksgiving. I just don't see them beating us at home on Thanksgiving. If they beat us, it is certainly rant worthy and certainly coach firing worthy. I shouldn't have said that because now half of you guys are going to be pulling for the Bills just to see a rant from Shango and Jason Garrett fired in the same game. So here's what's scary. They've got to be 8-3 by running the football. It has allowed them to be consistent versus lesser teams. They're one of the running football teams that I mentioned yesterday that have elevated themselves just because they stick to it. Then on the flip side, we have issues stopping the run. Josh Allen has a pretty decent arm, but he knows when to pull that ball in and take off running for the first down to keep the chains moving, which is a big thing for quarterbacks. In my opinion, if it's 3rd and 4 and you call a pass play and they're in man coverage and you got 5 yards right there, Josh Allen will go get that 5 yards and keep the drive moving. He won't force anything with his arm at all. So that's well, sometimes he does, but he knows how to pull that ball in and run the ball. He keeps drives moving is what I'm trying to say. As far as running back, we've got to watch out for Devin Singletary. He's the hot man right now. Frank Gore is still there, and Frank Gore is the type of running back that really gets into our guts. He gores us. But that's a great name for a running back. He's all in pretty good career for a name like that. But we got to watch out for Frank Gore. He's the back that kind of hurts our defense. We got to worry about Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley has an axe to grind, so they're going to call up plays for Cole Beasley, and Cole Beasley going to do everything he can to shine back in Dallas. As far as the Cowboys, we're pretty healthy. I doubt we'll see LVE again. He didn't practice, and also Antoine Woods is he's out. So we might see Tristan Hill. We might get to see if Tristan Hill is really worth all the trouble that he's caused us so far. So hopefully Tristan Hill come out and play well and do the things that Rod Marinelli saw in him to suggest to draft him. And lastly, there are rumors out there about Jerry having interest in Urban Meyer and Josh McDaniels. Urban's a flat out no for me. I really don't want a college coach, but Urban is a downright no for me. Not so much with McDaniels. I tell you what, there's a video here. I couldn't find it. I was looking for it. But there's a video here on YouTube with me wanting Josh McDaniels a long, 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 long time ago. I think it was before Wade. I think Wade was one of the quarterback coaches I mentioned, and Josh McDaniel was another one. So I still want him in Dallas. Bad. Bring that championship pedigree to Dallas back. Bring it back to Dallas. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. It's raining like crazy here in Southern California. You guys in the rest of the country might be getting a bad storm because whenever it's raining and cold, it's like 30-something degrees out here. Whenever it's raining and cold like this in Southern California, then the rest of the country gets pummeled. So I hope the best for you. I really do. But I got to figure out how to do the game because I can't go outside to do the game tomorrow because it's going to be raining like crazy tomorrow as well. So I might be in here in my office thingy to do the game. I just got to bring my the cable box from out there inside because if I watch TV in the house, I have in the whole house running no internet. If I watch the game, even when I'm hardwired in, because I'm hardwired in everywhere, it's still a play behind the cable box outside. So I'm gonna try to get that cable box inside. We cut a lot of coaxial cords when I was remodeling this house. I said, no coaxial in my house, get coaxial out. So now I'm like, can I find some coaxial? All right, guys, holla at you. But you see what kind of nerd I am. All right, holla at you, peace.